What's up guys, welcome to Daily Refinement. I've been talking about eBay and reselling for 6 straight years on YouTube, and today I made a list of the 40 things that can go wrong as an eBay seller and how you can overcome these. So I appreciate you guys. Please smash the like button, consider subscribing. Let's get into it. Okay guys, so this list is pretty comprehensive, but let me know in the comment section below if you can think of any other reasons why an eBay seller might not be able to get their listings up. So I actually posted this on my Instagram. You guys can follow me on Instagram and just download this list. It's really important to take a look at this list and remember always above anything else that your customer does not care about any of these things. So let's get into it. Number one would be that eBay shipping might be down. So this happens frequently throughout the year. I would say probably about 15 times a year for me, the shipping platform is down on any platform. But I don't just wait around for it to fix itself. And this is why I recommend doing eBay shipping or whatever your platform you're shipping first thing in the morning. So you give it a chance. If the system is down, you can still take care of it later in the day. If you start shipping at 4 o'clock and eBay shipping is down, which is really not that often, you're going to be in trouble because those packages are going to be late and those defects will count against you. So plan ahead, ship first, because it's possible the eBay shipping platform might be down. For me personally, I also have third-party integrations as a backup. So I can use 2 different sites to print my eBay shipping labels in the event that eBay shipping is down. So I might not get the full discount that you get on the eBay shipping platform, but I can at least get my shipping done. So next, these 2 reasons are actually related to the post office, which is your post office carrier didn't pick up, or your post office is closed, or there's some kind of issue with your local post office. For me, I know all the post offices in my area. I know how long it takes me to get to the airport, which is a 24-hour post office, and I know the closest distribution center to me and how far that is away. I actually strategically picked the location of this place because it's close to the distribution center. So you have to know where all your post offices are. If somebody doesn't show up to pick up your packages, it now becomes your responsibility to deliver it to the package to the carrier, the post office, because it's up to you. Next is running out of supplies, running out of batteries. Now this can be for shipping, this can be for packaging, this can be for equipment. This is why I don't like things that have batteries. I want everything to be plugged into the wall, and I also want a backup generator just in case the electricity fails. I don't want to be in a situation where I can't get my work done. Next would be not having a box that fits the item. So if you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you'll recognize that I try not to use tape at all. Saves me a lot of time not having to find boxes. I have poly mailers all the way up to 18 inches by 18 inches because that still qualifies for the cubic standard as an envelope. So imagine that an 18 by 18 bag can fit a lot of things inside of it and still qualifies as an envelope with USPS cubic shipping. So it's really important to understand boxes take a really long time to put together and to find. So if you can't find or lose an item when an item sells, that's a huge defect because one, you can't fulfill the order, so the customer is going to be angry. You're going to have to cancel, which is a defect on any platform. And then also, it really messes with you mentally when you can't find something. And this is a reason why I recommend shipping early in the morning. And if you can't find an item, don't let it ruin your entire day. Work on your other processes. And if you have time left, maybe look for it at the end. But what I see happening is people can't find an item and then they don't list that day. So make sure to just take that one on the chin if you can't find the item. Next is childcare. Childcare is huge. So for me, if my daughter is sick, if I have a family member that's sick, so child or family member is sick or something happens, I have to stop whatever I'm doing and go handle that. That's why I recommend you do your work as early as possible. I recommend doing work literally as soon as you are able to during the day and being as proactive as possible because this kind of stuff happens more often than you think. My child's been in childcare for, I would say, around 8 months. At least 4 times I have had to stop work and go get her, and never at a convenient time. So always being interrupted and having to go take care of that is one thing. On top of that, you're probably going to catch whatever it is that they had. So I've had COVID and it was nothing compared to the first week of daycare. Whatever she brought back totally annihilated me. That was way worse than having COVID for a couple of days, whatever those kids were doing. So just build in buffer time because all these 40 things on this list have happened to me except for a couple, and I still get my work done. So my customer doesn't care. I'm really just a civil servant to my customers. The customers want me to bring them and deliver them cool stuff. I'm just trying to be the right person that delivers that. So they really don't care what's going on in my personal life. I've got to deliver no matter what. Next is the eBay site is down. So this is like extremely rare. And I just texted my colleague Tech and Sports, who I run the mentorship with, and he said it rounds to never. It rounds to it's never down. There's 10,000 people that work at eBay, literally, and their job is to make sure the site runs smoothly forever, 24/7, no downtime. So it's rarely down, so don't use that as an excuse, because you can do something else like sorting, processing, photographing while you're waiting for the eBay site to come up in the very uncommon event that it is down. Next is an unexpected return or an unexpected defect. People spend hours on this. Somebody returns something because they say something is not how it was supposed to be. Even if it was, there's nothing you can do about it. So just offer a free return, get the item back, inspect it, make sure whatever the issue was what it is. Let eBay customer service know if there's any type of abuse, and they will most likely rule in your favor. I've only had 2 instances of just straight fraud. Actually 3. I can think of them. That's how rare it is. Out of 75,000, one person sent me back a rock, which it ended up being a Petrovsky coral rock, which was, I don't know if that was a joke, but the rock ended up being worth more than the pair of jeans. Somebody straight up just sent me a piece of paper, and then instead of a pair of jeans, and then a Nintendo Switch. That guy sent me back just the Switch box. Took the Nintendo Switch out of it, sent me back just the original box. That is a difficult category. So you can choose categories that are more risky, like brand new electronics, or you can pick something a little less risky like me, which is used clothing. Doesn't make as much money, not as exciting, but you can do more volume and not have to worry about it. So unexpected returns, unexpected defects. Don't waste your entire day contacting customer service and letting them know how big of a travesty this is, because they're just going to tell you to not worry about it and that everybody gets defects, and just don't get over a certain number of defects, which is, I believe, 0.3%. So just handle your business. If somebody returns something for an invalid reason, that's not going to mess up your account, just having a couple of those. Make sure that you have over 400 transactions over a 90-day period so that you can absorb that and be evaluated on a 90-day period instead of the whole year. That's really, really important. Next is a family gathering or vacation. These happen all the time. You just have to work around it. That's why I only have a 5-day work week. In case something comes up, I can work on the weekend to make it up. That's just really how it works as a reseller, as an entrepreneur. No one is going to save you. You just have to do the best that you can. It's going to set you back for a little bit, but you got to make up for it. A big mistake that I see resellers do is something happens and they don't make up the work. And when you're in school, one thing that school did teach me was if you miss an assignment, usually the teacher will give you an opportunity to make it up. But you have to do it. If something unforeseen happens, every single good teacher will give you an opportunity to make it up, and eBay is one of those examples where they give you an opportunity to make it up. If you miss a listing day, tomorrow you can do double. Pet emergency. So I think pet emergencies happen quite often. I only dog sit 2 weeks a year. And in those 2 weeks, there's a tiny pet emergency that happens. It takes maybe a few hours to take care of. That's part of owning a pet. So you can choose to make your life a little bit more complicated by having as many kids as possible and 42 different pets. Just realize that it increases the complexity the more pets that you have. So just be cognizant. Most of the time, in my opinion, it is worth it for you to have a pet or to have plants or to have things that you take care of. That additional responsibility, in my opinion, usually makes people more responsible and more consistent with their listing. Next is the eBay glitch of the week. Not my YouTube channel, but there are some YouTube channels that talk about every single glitch that happens on every single topic. If you guys have noticed for a while, I don't usually make that video. Something will happen, and if it's a huge deal, I probably still won't make a video about it because it doesn't really matter. It just comes down to your schedule. Are you consistent with your listing? Do you ship on time? Do you do all the things we talk about on this channel? Because if so, you don't have to worry about the eBay glitch of the week, because next week there'll be a new one. So if you're always worried about it, you'll never get any work done. Next is the eBay seller update. This happens 2 to 4 times a year where they'll make a change. And also the post office increase in price happens a couple times a year. Don't worry about that. It's a level playing field. Everybody has these changes rolled out at the same time. Don't say it's unfair as a jewelry seller that they're requiring this. All jewelry sellers now have that. This is why it's important to be proactive and fill out as many item specifics as possible, because you're future-proofing your business. In the future, eBay will make changes and you'll already be ahead of the curve. Next is related to your physical, which is don't eat well, don't sleep well, you're hangry, haven't exercised, feel out of shape, low energy levels. This is really important, and I think that I really focus on sleep, eating, working out, and even though I'm really focused on it, it's still hard to do. So I think people greatly underestimate how much effort it takes to get into shape, eat right, cook at home. It's like there's a lot of energy required to do it. So I like to just be as motivated as possible to take care of myself, because without my health, I really don't have the ability to do this. So it's really important, especially if you are in good health right now, to maintain it or improve it. Next is really big, which is no motivation. And for me, I feel like we're only on earth for a short time and just try to make the most out of it. And it's essentially like a test, right? I've heard this analogy where at the end of your life was a test, and you are the one grading it at the end of the year, at the end of your life. Did you do a good job? Would you give yourself an A, a B, a C, or D, or an E, or an F rather? Do you really want to get an F on your own life? So like, what is an A to you, right? An A might be, my goal, an A in my life is just to make enough money to afford ramen forever and browse the internet. I just need the internet and my ramen and I'm good. If that's an A for you, that's great. Everyone grades their own test at the end of their life. So that's what's important. Motivation comes from, what do you want your life to look like, right? And so most people don't have an exciting picture for what they want their life to look like. And I think that's truly where the lack of motivation comes from. If you're truly excited about what you're painting, wake up and start painting. But if you're not excited about what you're painting, then what's the point of even picking up the paintbrush? You're just gonna wake up and stare at the wall. Next is traffic jam, car breaks down. This is wild, okay? Because I've been in the Bay Area for a while. I've had my car broken into 30 different times. I've had my car stolen. This is from me doing rental cars. I've had stolen cars. I've had over 30 break-ins. I've had 200 or 300 parking tickets I've had to deal with cars all over the city. I've had at least 10 cars totaled by renters. My own personal car, I've had the catalytic converter stolen during a haircut. I've had the transmission fail, which now that I'm thinking about it, my transmission failed after parking in the same neighborhood that I had my catalytic converter stolen. So I don't know if it's possible to engine swap or transmission swap in like an hour, but something happened because I have a low mileage Prius and the transmission failed, which is very odd. On a 60,000 mile Prius, that should not happen. But that day, I still got my listing goal done. All these issues happen and I still get my work done because it doesn't matter. My customer doesn't care. I have had more car problems than I think anybody, because at one point I had 13 cars. So there's no, like, I hear it when people say, you know, my car had an issue, so I took the whole day off, or I took the whole week off. How can you do that? Natural disaster hasn't happened to me. Or actually, maybe that's not true. We had the crazy Northern California fires, and the sky was orange one day and it was black one day. So in those, this is so interesting. The news came on and said, don't even exercise inside. Okay, it said the air is so bad that inside is polluted. So just don't do anything until this passes. So that natural disaster, that day we still shipped, I just wore a mask. And you guys have seen in lots of my videos, we wear masks anyway, not because of COVID, but because it's dusty. So I should probably have everyone wear masks anyway because it's dusty in here. So no natural disasters have really happened here, but my colleague Tech in Sports, he had a hurricane roll through, and I think in that day, instead of listing 250 clothing items, he listed 400 hats. So he just drove to a different area, got his listings up, and then came back and took care of it. Also, in the event of a natural disaster, eBay will automatically extend your handling time. Okay? Amazon does not do that. Amazon is like, yo, we know there's a hurricane, but get those packages out. They don't really care. Next is no schedule. All the stuff that we're talking about goes away if you have a strict schedule because you can adjust. A strict schedule always includes buffer time. So for me, I'm trying to become early guy. Chris, he's always early. That requires a lot more planning and it requires a schedule. You can't accidentally be early. You've got to like mentally think, how do I get there 15 minutes early? That requires a schedule and a plan. Next is your husband or wife or friend doesn't take you seriously. That comes from you not taking yourself seriously. So if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, why do you care what other people think? It doesn't matter, right? It's only if you think that what you're doing is not quite good enough and then somebody else tells you that it's not quite good enough, then you're basically screwed. So Elon Musk said that if you need encouragement, then don't be an entrepreneur. And that sounds really harsh, but honestly, it's lonely. When you're trying to do all this stuff, people aren't going to believe you and take time out of their already busy day because they only care about themselves too. Are they going to come out of their way to tell you good job? I really admire what you're doing. I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen. You need to be your own biggest cheerleader. I will be your cheerleader. I believe in you and I care about all these problems you have, but your customer doesn't. So it's really, really important that you have to take yourself seriously first. And this is a little bit later in the list, but I'll bring it up right now, which is negative self-talk. So what you tell yourself becomes concrete. Identity is really important. My name is Chris. I list a minimum of 1,000 items per week. My company is set up as a corporation. I work for my own corporation. My salary here at Daily Refinement Inc. is $104,000 a year. And what that is $2 times 52,000 listings, which is 1,000 items per week. That's my job here. My job here is to make sure 1,000 items per week gets sold. If you look at my Whatnot, I switched over from eBay to Whatnot. I've been on Whatnot for around 4 months now, and I've sold 18,000 items, which is just over 1,000 items per week. My identity is tied into what I do, and so I don't worry about if other people take me seriously. And the negative self-talk, just get rid of it and insert it with what you want yourself to be and give yourself all the reasons. I have been sourcing over 1,000 items for over 2 years now. So I am used to this pace of getting inventory in. I'm used to the production part of it. I know how to do it. That's the next one, which is some people don't know how to do it, which is fine. You've just got to learn how to do it. And I'm actually going to do something crazy. On my Whatnot, I'm actually going to sell tickets to a live one-on-one training. So I'm going to fly at least one person out here to Oakland. I'm going to put you in the Marriott, which is like the closest nice hotel to here. Put you in the Marriott, all expenses paid. I'll fly you out here, pay for your hotel room. You'll come here and I will show you how to photograph, list, and ship 100 items in one day, which makes me $1,000 profit or more each time I do reselling. Right? So I will show you how to do it in person. I'm going to put that auction up shortly. And essentially what I want to show people is how to do it. Right? So of course my YouTube channel talks about that, but I want to show you how to do it in person. So pretty excited about that. Next is not enough space, not enough money, not enough time. We all have 24 hours in the day, and the reselling business, in my opinion, should take about 3 hours. That's it. I work on eBay, reselling, Whatnot, all my reselling between the hours of 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. So 3 hours per day, right? So you got to do the best you can with your 3 hours a day. In the beginning, it was me listing 2 items in 3 hours. Now it's me managing a staff of 2, and our goal is 200 per day, Monday through Friday. And again, think about how specific my goal is. You come to work here, your goal is to help us list 200 items a day, and my metric in my brain is 100 a day per person. And I got that metric from Tech and Sports, modeling him, his staff, everyone that works there lists over 100 a day. I copied it. When I was on eBay, my listers would do 105 listings in a day. 105 photos in the morning, 105 listings in the afternoon, like clockwork. So really, really important to know what you're supposed to do. And again, everyone has the same 3 hours to work on eBay. You start with 1, 2, 3 items, 4 items, move all the way up to 100 items. So that's what you'll need to accomplish during that time. So no time, no space, no money. Your customer doesn't care. Next is no Rolo printer, no printer for labels. You don't need that. You can go to the post office and use the scanner on the eBay app and they'll print a label for you, or you can go to the library. In my library, you get 10 free pages. 10 free pages, get some tape from Dollar Tree, $1. You got 20 labels because you can fit 2 labels on each sheet. So 20 labels is substantial. That gives you a really good head start in sales. And also in my library, it's 10 free pages every single day. And if you talk to the librarian and say, you know what, I'm just getting my business started, they will give you the copies. Okay, so don't worry about not having a printer. So this next one may trigger a few people, but it's sort of no desire to be successful. And this might sound rude, but like, I really, really, really want to be successful. I want that. So if you don't want it, I don't know if you can just accidentally build a resale business, because I feel like it's one of those analogies where you're the rocket trying to exit the atmosphere. It takes 1 million gallons of fuel to break through, and then once you do, you can just coast. Next is poor upbringing. I was raised with the buy now, pay later. My parents always had debt their entire lives. They never got out of that. The last time I talked to them, I paid for gas for them over the phone. Poor upbringing does not affect who you become, okay? It only affects that part of it. Some people are empowered by their upbringing. Some people are debilitated by their upbringing. It's up to how you react to it. Next is toxic relationships. This is with friends, families, and yourself. Make sure that people around you clap when you do well, and they step in and help you when you're not. It's very hard to find people like that. And I do consider yourself very lucky in your life if you can find 5 people in your life. If you can count on one hand the people who really want you to succeed, I consider you very successful. It's not that easy to find people who really want you to get everything you want out of your life. So you can find 1 to 5 people who really care about you, you're killing it. Next is the internet stops working or the electricity blacks out. That has happened here. I mean, we don't have rolling blackouts like Southern California, but we have lost power here. We have lost electricity. The app has been down before, but it really hasn't stopped the listing goal. Even 2 years ago, when I did that challenge of listing 70 items a day, I did it the whole year. So there are days where it might be a little bit wonky, but I count if something goes horribly wrong one day and you do 40 and the next day you do 110, to me, that's still 70 a day. It's just the law of averages. Next is pain or injury or sickness. This is gonna happen. I got gout earlier this year, which doesn't make any sense to me because I don't eat a ton of meat. I rarely drink. I'm like a 1 per month. And the doctor was telling me it's potentially from maybe dehydration. That was some insane pain. Like I would say like, well, I don't know, because maybe my pain threshold is horrible. But for me, like a 7 or 8 out of 10. It was really bad. So I was not able to stand on that foot. And I still did 500 auctions that day on Whatnot. And then after that, on a hobbled foot, I went to date night. Because I was like, I don't care. I don't care that my foot hurts. I've been looking forward all week to date night. We're going. We're going to Korean fried chicken. I don't care about my foot. So I just wore 1 sandal and went to dinner. In retrospect, I should have gotten takeout, because that probably made it worse, because we went out on a Friday. Basically, I was on my back on Saturday, and then Sunday back to work again. Sunday, I went back to the flea market all day with just a sandal on one foot and shoe on the other foot, because I just want this really bad. Next is death in the family emergency. When a death in the family happens, it's very traumatic. I think that you have to give yourself time to grieve. Otherwise, you're going to be in a world of hurt, because it just takes a lot out of you. So that's why I recommend being ahead, having a 2-week draft bank, being ahead of what you need, because you're going to need time. It doesn't go away quickly. Nothing goes away quickly. Nothing gets started quickly. This channel is not quick. It's slow. You guys have been watching me transform since 2017. And when you guys watch this in 2027, I'm going to be totally different also. It just takes time to grow. So this next one is maybe my favorite of the list. So please smash the like button, consider subscribing. And this is cosmic misalignment. So this could be your horoscope. This could be astrology. The moon might not be in the right place. The sun may not be in the right place. Now, this is important, because if you think this sounds ridiculous, which some people don't, some people believe it's why they do things. But if you think this is ridiculous, that's how I feel about the rest of this list. It doesn't matter. I look at all these different excuses and problems that happen during people's day, and I still think, that's still like, if you only need to work 3 hours a day and you sleep 8 hours a day, That's 13 hours. I know I've never had 13 hours of problems in the same day. Like that's crazy. It's just, you could have 1 hour of horrible things and 12 hours of reactions to that one thing, but no one has 13 hours of problems every single day. Like some days, maybe you have a couple problems here or there. Some days something catastrophic happens, but not every day. You can't do it. So I would say that maybe the most debilitating thing for most people listening right now, honestly, real talk, it's social media. It's scrolling through Instagram or TikTok or YouTube for 10, 14 hours a day. You can do that, right? But it's not this list. So final two things are tools breaking and equipment failure. I like to have backups of everything. So my link is bit.ly/reseller supplies. You can go there and look at all the different things that I buy. I have multiples of everything. Just in case something breaks, we have multiple chairs. We have 4 chairs, even though we need one. We have 4 printers, even though we only need one. We have backup literally of everything. I have mailing supplies probably for an entire year. Everything is backed up here and we're ready to go. So I appreciate you guys. If you need more help building the mechanics, like what to do, if you want to know what supplies to get, if you want to know the order to do everything, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/theresellers podcast. If you join at the annual level, then you get us for an entire year and you get access to our eBay white papers, which is step-by-step how to do this entire process. That checklist of things to do in order is around 3 hours. And so far, around 1,100 people have gone through it, and there really hasn't been any changes. The only thing that we want to add is one more little video on how to do eBay templates, but eBay templates is not even the number one way that we recommend listing. It's just a different way of listing. The group, to sum it up for you guys, is just learning how to sell similar, which is doing the same things that make you successful in the first place, repeating those things, and the things that are not serving you well, negative self-talk, negative people, listings that don't sell, to just reduce those. Increase the things that help you, decrease the things that hurt you or harm you or decrease your productivity. So appreciate you guys. Make progress daily.